Thank you, listeners and affiliates, for making the FishyFins.com internet radio network a success.
Kayak experts selling the only pedal kayaks with a reverse, pedal forward or backwards. Need a paddle fishing board, SUP, or kayak? You need Westwall Boats Shallow Water Outfitters. Comfort is king. In a native ultimate angler watercraft, you are king. If standing is your thing, they have paddle fishing boards complete with a Yeti. If you can dream about doing it, Westwall can help get you there. WestwallBoats.com. WestwallBoats.com. Located next to Giggles on Tamiami Trail, Sarasota.
So we just landed about 150 to 65 pound tarpon. We're now floating to Reviver.
Well, it looks like it's going to be kind of a cloudy morning. There's some storms moving in, so I thought, well, if I'm going to be behind the computer anyway, I might as well go into the Marine GIS system and do some clicking around and see what the water's looking like around here. So let's see what we got here. We're going to go ahead and get recording. Alright, when we first start out, of course, you can go to ocean.floridamarine.org, or you can go to our website, fishyfins.com, and under quick links, just arrow down and choose Marine GIS. And it'll bring you right into here. It's the Marine Resources Geographic Information System. It's really a great tool if you're a boater, a fisherman, if you're into yachting, sailing, whatever you're doing, whether it's inshore, way offshore, and I do mean way, way offshore. So if you're out in the Atlantic, out there fishing pretty far out, you're out in the Gulf of Mexico, this is a great tool to use. So let's see here. Let's get started, and we're going to go ahead and click on here to start. And when we first come in, what I'm going to do is the first thing I always do is I go to the top right side where it says base map, and when you mouse over it, that submenu comes up and I choose imagery, and that gives us a nice satellite view. Now I'm going to play around in Charlotte Harbor, so I'm going to bring this right to the middle of the map and kind of go in a little bit to the area. Now I wanted to show you up here, I usually don't use this search option because I'll show you. Let's arrow down and choose, say, Charlotte County. What it does is it puts this red highlight over the county area, and it makes it hard to see the other marks on the map. So I generally don't use that. We're going to clear that out. We're just going to close that menu box out and drag our map contents menu up and make it a little bit longer so we can see everything there. Now, well, what I want to look for, let's recenter Charlotte County. What I want to look for today, and we looked at the boat layers last time, and that's all the markers, the wave markers, radar, buoys, even has some reef markers, stuff like that, all for really navigating areas. Really cool layer to use. We did go over that in the last one, and you can check it out in our older episodes, and you'll see the GIS first one. Now, what we're going to do is we're actually going to look at coastal marine habitats and cover. And this is pretty cool. Let me open that up, because it lets us see just about everything that is fishermen or even deep sea fishermen inshore or offshore that we be looking for. So let's concentrate in Charlotte Harbor. I'm going to go in here a little bit closer. I use my mouse's wheel. You could double click any place that you want to zoom into. And I'm going to first turn on artificial reefs, and then I'm going to enable that layer. And it comes up, and we see, of course, the Alligator Creek reef out here, and that old sunken garbage off of Cape Hayes. And actually, it doesn't show the Tire reef up here. I don't even think that's there anymore. Last time I was down there, actually, I think the sand from Hurricane Charlie just buried it, so I don't think there's anything left there anymore. But it also shows them offshore. So as you're going offshore, we go out here to Boca Grande and see all these guys along the shoreline. Really cool tool to use. Just looking for artificial reefs. And now what I want to do is I want to add more to that. If we scroll down a little bit and say I want to find something like maybe tidal flats, right? Everybody talks about, well, you're going to go fish in the flats around Charlotte Harbor. Now I can come into this map. I can zoom into Charlotte Harbor. I turned on the artificial reef, so I see where the artificial reef is. Now if you look at the bottom left side, the latitude and longitude underneath my mouse always updates in the bottom corner. So I could just mouse over any of these points and see exactly in my GPS where my waypoint would be and where I would set it up to. So that's a very cool tool to use. Now in this case I want to turn on the tidal flats, so I'm going to go over here to the left and I'm going to check tidal flats. The map updates, then it highlights all the places where we have flats here in the Charlotte Harbor area. So all around Turtle Bay, and going all the way into Pirate Harbor here and Bernstore Marina, all the way up to Ponce de Leon. We have a nice view of all the tidal flats. So that's a very cool option. You hear people talking about it, you're not sure about the area, now you see where all these tidal flats are. And now if we want to, we could actually go in and even turn on the mangrove line. So we'll turn this on, and then we look around and we'll see where all the mangroves and keys, like here's the Charlotte Harbor Keys on the right side, and that's where they kind of come up and get highlighted and just to get into the area and see where all of it is. So we see our flats are out here. Our grassy flats are here. You can see the grass there. These are our sandy flats, and then it goes right into the keys and the mangroves. So it's really a great tool to use if you're playing inshore and you want to see where the fish are. We'll zoom in a little bit here to Alligator Creek. Got to refresh my coffee. And so we have a nice view of Alligator Creek coming out. All the flats around Alligator Creek, all the mangroves and keys that feed out there, the grass line here, the shoal and flats line here. Now if we wanted to, we could even go up top and scroll up a little bit, go to the boating layer. We could turn on aids to navigation, enable that layer, and now see all the markers coming out of the channel here. Now here's all of our markers going in. So if we're going fishing and I just want to go up here and hit the print button and print this area out, I've got a fantastic fishing guide before I even get on the boat. I don't have to buy a chart, I don't have to update a chart, I don't have to pay a GPS or a mapping company, any update layer fees, anything like that. So very cool stuff. Now let's go ahead and close that boat layers on our map contents menu and scroll down again. And I'm just going to turn that off. We don't really need to see markers this time, so let's get rid of those. And I'm going to go down and I'm going to turn off the tidal flats. I'm going to turn off the mangrove line. And now we have a big old empty map the way we started out with. So, as you see, and that goes all the way out. So if I come out, well, actually I have the artificial reefs checked still. So, as you come out, and the map expands as you go out here. If I want to see the same thing and turn on any of that in Gasparilla or Boca Grande or anything, I could come down and turn on, flats areas. And then there they are. I could turn on the mangrove line all around Turtle Bay and this whole area here, Turtle Bay here, and there you go. So as you expand out and you move, the map updates and you get all that great information. Now we're going to turn all of this off, and we're going to play offshore because everybody's out there getting these big Goliath grouper and all that good stuff. So we're going to turn all that off, and we're going to go out here. I'm going to scroll out so we get a nice big view of the Gulf of Mexico. And just to show you how powerful this tool is, we're going to go to base layers. I'm going to open that up, and what I'm going to go to is bathymetric range. Bathymetric range is pretty cool because it's going to give you the depth of the Gulf of Mexico from the surface of the water down to the bottom at that point, and the range between different depths as they go out. So if you want to go to any of these ranges where the water is between 10 and 20, 20 and 30, 90 and 100, you know, even all the way down to, you know, 200 feet, you know exactly where those drop-offs are. So, you know, that's again a very cool feature to use if you're heading a couple hundred miles offshore and you want to see where, you know, anything is hit. Well, you know, they're at 200 feet, they're at 150 feet, they're at 60 feet. We're getting grouper, red snapper at 45 feet. Now, this is where it really gets good. Now, I'm going to go up here and see where it says Undersea Features. I'm going to turn that on. That's a fantastic option because, as you'll see, it brings up everything out here that's in the Gulf of Mexico that you consider a waypoint or a feature to fish at. And it takes it a second because we have the whole entire state of Florida. And there you go. The Florida Middle Ground, the Elbow, Howell Hook, everybody knows about that. West Florida. Let's go in there. Give it a second to come in. But all these waypoints and all these points that we're familiar with fishing and some offshore fishing, you could just set your mouse right over the top of that point, and in the bottom left side see where the latitude and the longitude is, and it'd be, of course, be able to go right out there because you have the waypoint. So it's a, let me scroll out a little bit, maybe that'll catch up with me. So, you know, it's a great tool to have whether you're offshore fishing, whether you're inland fishing. In fact, while we're offshore, I'm waiting for this map to update. You got to forgive it. It was designed by the government and maintained by the government, so it's very slow and inefficient like the government. But anyway, now if I want to go up here and go to boat layering again, and I don't want to turn on navigation, but I do want to turn on boat layering. We'll turn off the navigation. Restricted, habitats, marine, managed. Here it is, Shipwrecks. We're going to turn on Shipwrecks. And let me go up and make sure I turn the main one on. Boat layering, something else. You always got to make sure the main one's turned on or it won't show up. And now it's going to show us all the shipwrecks included with this layout of the depth and waypoints. So let's see what we got out here in the Gulf of Mexico. Like I said, really cool tool to have. So there you go. You want to hit a shipwreck out there, you want to hit on some kind of underground or underwater obstruction. Get to an underground obstruction, you're going to be in trouble. But all this stuff underwater, give this a second to load. And you know, you have a waypoint, you could put your mouse right over that point and see on the bottom left what the latitude and longitude is. By scale, you can see how far offshore this is. This is almost, what, about 40 miles offshore. As a matter of fact, a lot of these big Goliath grouper are coming out of Florida's, West Florida shelf, they call it. And there's a lot of grouper up here. Matter of fact, this little Elbow area, a lot of guys are going out here off of Tampa. Where's the Elbow at? I think it's off Tampa out here. This is a slow map, so you do have to be patient with it. Probably a lot of people using it, and like I said, it is run by the government. So there's the Elbow. That's what I was looking for. A lot of guys going out here off of Pasco and Tampa, going out here to get big Goliath grouper. You know, they're getting out here on these wrecks for red snapper, and you know, coming down to Boca Grande. You get out of Boca Grande Pass, and you know, all kinds of fishing out here. Is this coming? It takes it forever. Come on. And you know, again, you look at the scale. This is 40 miles. So if we look at that scale out, you know, 40 miles out is somewhere around here. And you know, nice wrecks to fish on. All kinds of cool stuff. And you can see the bottom. And if you want to, you could actually take it to the next step. You could scroll down and go back to base layers and turn on a lot of other stuff. Let's see what we have here. Shorelines. There's other stuff in here. I got to go digging around for it. But you'll get the picture. You got to get in there and play a little bit and see. And you know, like I said, whether you're really going offshore and you're playing with deep sea fishing, getting on some of these wrecks that are 40 to 100 miles offshore, if you're looking for these shells and the elbows and the difference in actual depth between surface and the bottom, it's really a great tool to have before you take off, with the ability to mark waypoints with your mouse and see exactly where that latitude and longitude point is. is very valuable. You know, I can come out here to this shipwreck and just put my mouse over it, and I know exactly where it is. I can find it with my depth finder now. And being able, let me scroll out to go way out almost to the shelf. Actually, it flows over the shelf, I believe, and see how deep the water is, see where the thermals are. Just very cool. Let me see if they have transportation routes too. You could put in there if you want to and check, but we're not going to bother with any of that right now. But you know, as you can see, if you're into deep sea fishing, boating, you're taking charters out or getting ready to go out on a charter, this is a great tool to have to see where you're going. Any point, anytime you want to, you can go up to the top menu bar and print out that area. And as you play with it a little bit more and you test it and you learn it, you'll find out that there's a lot of different layers. I do a lot of different things. You can find marshes, you can find grassy bottom, you can find gravel, rock bottom. It's unbelievable. You could even track manatee, you could track other species, you can look for red tide events, other bacterial events. It does just about everything you need to do around the state of Florida when it comes to marine boating, fishing, any kind of anglers out there, yachts, yachters, you'll love it. So anyway, that was pretty cool. This is our second part of this GIS tour, and we're going to get into a little more advanced stuff on our next one. Hope everybody enjoyed it. Again, fishyfins.com. Click on the arrow down for the quick links and choose Marine GIS, or you can go to ocean.floridamarine.org and check it out there. You folks have a great day, and make sure you get out there and do a little fishing.